Hi, I'm Dee Lins. I'm a Hollywood talent manager. I also produce, I direct, and I coach new talent. Most of my business is centered around developing new talent, and for years what I've been wanting to do is to take that business online, but I never got it together like so many other the 1,500 things I've got on my to-do list, and I'm sure you do too. So I have some friends who are doing an online series that's an episodic show. It's a really cool show, by the way, and they're doing something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which is write it in such a way that they can include people by remote. So the way that that's going to work is that there will be people, I'll just give you some, this isn't necessarily part of the plot line, but I'll give you an idea how that might work. So let's say that you're, this show, by the way, is based in Los Angeles. And let's say that you might have a runaway in the show who's in Los Angeles, and at some point FBI and police are calling back home to speak to their family who's on Skype, right? We're going to have parts where people are just playing photographs on someone's desk. We're going to have things where people will act as models. So there'll be a lot of cool parts that you can actually do without leaving home. Now, another thing that we're doing is having a way for you to audition from home. We're working all of this out, so I need to give you some good news and some bad news about that. The good news is that you are the very first test crew. Now, there are probably about 30 people watching this webinar right now, and the good news is you're going to get a lot of personalized attention because it's the first time that we've done this, and we really need to work this out with you. So you'll have a better opportunity for learning and a better opportunity to get attention than anyone will who comes after you. Now that's the good news. The bad news is none of us have ever done this before. Now, we've all produced shows. I've worked for years in Hollywood, decades, and however, we haven't done this online. So we're kind of working out the bugs. So that's what you need to give me. What I need from you is your patience, all right? So, and I need your feedback. I need you to tell me what's working, what's not working, give us suggestions, because when we're done, it's going to be something that works very well on both sides. Now, let me take a look at my notes here and see what I wanted to talk to you about, and sometimes I'm going to remove my sticky notes here.
Sound picture check.
Okay, can you guys give me a sound check? Kim, can you tell me if you can hear this? Kim, do you hear this? I think they have a little delay, but she's not answering.
There's a little bit of latency. Okay.
She says yes. Okay, so obviously they can see me, right? Is that for sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've worked out that bug. That's step one. You can see and hear me. All right. So as much as possible, I'm going to try to keep this simple. And I'm hoping, and you just never know on the first go round with something, that I'm going to be able to have it very easy to understand. Now, what I'm extremely confident about is being able to coach you through this, because I do that so much. I probably meet about 400 new talents a month when I'm in castings, and it's my job to pick out people who have potential and to coach them and to help them become professional. One thing that I don't think has been explained is that I am starting an online school, okay? So I'm going to coach you guys for free, and I'm also going to give you offers and show you things from that school because I want some people to do that as well. So I'm going to give you an offer to do some coaching by the end of this. Everything is going to be free or extremely affordable for you. Because this isn't mostly for the sales. This is so that I can work this out. And if you follow along, you're going to see that that's true. So let me keep looking down at my notes. All right, so Hollywood, I want to explain something to you about the difference between Hollywood talent services, who are the people doing this casting and doing the production that you're auditioning for, and myself. So my name is Dee Lins. I have a couple of nicknames. One is Hollywood Hope, and the other is the Queen. I'm pretty much called Queen Dee, and that's the way people know me in my neighborhood. Talent Services is a production company, and they're casting for this web series that they're doing, and so they're writing a number of online parts into that, and they're working out how they're going to do their first online auditions. And this group, the people that I'm talking to now, are the first people that they are auditioning. So I hope you're clear on that, and if not, we'll have time for questions later. The other thing that I want to talk to you about is assessment scripts. So they wrote to you about assessment scripts, and I've used assessment scripts for years. I may have even pioneered that concept. But I'm going to tell you what that's about so that you can get the logic behind that. When you're brand new, or when you're at least new to a production, when people don't know you, then it's much more efficient to get a look at the level of work that you can do than to have you decide which role you'd like to have, okay? So what we do is put some easy assessment scripts to assess your talent. So you have had access to a number of scripts out there, some commercial scripts and some comedy scripts and some drama scripts and some for kids, and most of them are pretty much one size fits all. So kids can do them or adults can do them. And they work for males and females, and always get a question about if it says he, but you're a she, just change those words to fit your situation. And what we're mostly trying to do with the assessment scripts is get an idea of what you can handle so that we can then present you individually with the kind of roles that you can be qualified for. Let me tell you about some things that happen in Hollywood. In Hollywood, in order to get cast, you're going to need to have some experience that people can see. And like everywhere else in the world, that's kind of a catch-22, right? You can't get experience because no one will hire you, and no one will hire you because you can't get any experience. And I'm going to talk to you at some point about how to get over that, but we won't have time in this webinar. So in this webinar, what I'm really going to try to cover is how you can do a great audition from home for this production. The first thing that I'll tell you about that as your coach is that the number one mistake that people make when they're getting ready for something like this, when they're not new, is that we've got news prompts coming up on the screen, so that's just notifications.
They don't see that.
Okay, cool. So you guys don't see them. Drinking my iced tea. Okay, so what we're doing is having you do a number of scripts for us, and then we will give you more customized scripts for you, meaning that we have a number of roles and we're going to see your talent level, and then we will allow you to have a specific script for a specific role. So what you're going to want to do with us is do, if you can, a commercial, a comedy, and a drama script. Now sometimes you can take one script and you can do it funny and do it dramatic. And if you don't understand that, I will get to that later. If you're a seasoned actor, you may understand what I'm talking about. It's just the way that you approach that role. Nothing's guaranteed here. It is a talent-based system. In my heart of hearts, I'm hoping to find some great unknown talent out there. Whether or not you are that, I am going to help you by coaching you to help you become the best you can as quickly as possible. Now, of course, I can't start at Acting 101 and take you all the way through an Academy Award in the kind of time that we're going to have to do this. But I do know some really great hacks that help actors get farther faster. So if you'll tune into what I'm doing, then I'll be able to give you a lot of good help with that. Okay, the number one mistake that new talent makes when approaching their first auditions is that they underestimate how hard it's going to be. So it usually takes a lot more time and a lot more effort than you've been thinking that it would. So when we watch people in commercials or in the theater or things like that, and they have a level of mastery, then it looks so easy that we think we can do it when we're underprepared. So what I'm going to tell you right now so that you can start to get prepared are a few basic rules in Hollywood. First of all, you can't even begin to perform well until you've got something absolutely, positively memorized. Because while you're still trying to remember the words, your eyes are going to be doing things like, and you're going to be pausing in strange areas. You want to deliver a great performance, you need to have this stuff memorized cold. Now, people usually spend not enough time memorizing that. So what you're going to need to do is to memorize it like maybe 50 times. You want to be able to do this in your sleep. You want to be able to stop randomly and start back up where you got stopped. You want to know your material cold. Now, usually, depending on how good you are at memorizing things, that's going to take a day to several days. Some people make songs out of it, some people write it out again and again, some people type it out again and again, some people just repeat it reading it. Whatever works for you, you need to get this memorized completely, okay? The second thing that you need to know about is a concept that we use in Hollywood called pre-production. So in pre-production, before you ever get ready to tape, you go out one day and you look at your location, you set up your camera, you check your lighting, you check your sound, and you tape the whole thing, sort of like a dress rehearsal for a play. Why is this? Because you're going to notice all sorts of things that you didn't expect, such as what happens when a lawnmower suddenly starts next door and you can't tell them to stop it, or what happens when a plane flies over, or what about the fact that the best lighting's in the kitchen, but you didn't remember that the sink is full of dishes and that doesn't look very good in the background. All those little things, you want to get the kinks worked out before you're even ready to deliver on camera in pre-production, right? Women, you're going to want to test that hair and makeup. You're going to want to look at that outfit and how it looks in the background behind you. You know, if your black matches the black of your set, things like this. So in pre-production, you're going to work everything out. You're going to always assume that everything's going to work, but inevitably some things will not. So you need to go through your entire thing. It will probably take you at least, I'd say 4 hours, okay? We're talking hair, makeup, wardrobe. You need to check that your background and make a really nice set or something that at least makes sense. You need to check your sound, and the things that people often don't notice are fans or air conditioners or ambient noise from outside. Sometimes it's really helpful if you buy a mic, you know, a little lavalier mic that you can clip on. You can usually get those on Amazon for about, 10 to 20 bucks. And sometimes that's very helpful. Sometimes you can do it directly from your phone. I'm doing this webinar from an iPhone with no mic. That works sometimes, it doesn't work. If you've got a lot of background noise, you're going to want to use a lavalier mic that you can clip somewhere, and that'll really help you with your sound. You're going to want to practice and practice. Now, I'll tell you something that you should know about these particular auditions. They had a deadline that was, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks ago, at some point, that you guys were supposed to turn in your audition tapes, and very few got turned in. That doesn't surprise me at all, because I audition new talent constantly, and new talent is usually very surprised that getting this done well is much harder than they expected. And so what I'm guessing is either that you didn't get around to taping it because you know that you're not ready, or you taped it and you were disappointed with the way that it looked, so you didn't send it in. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to start to send things in even if you think that they're not right. And what I'd like to do is to coach you guys. So what I want to ask you for when you do your auditions is also to give me permission to show them to everyone. In some cases, you're going to have problems. You may have questions that you want to ask, or I may bring up things such as your timing or some little, tips and hacks like I was talking about where you could make it better. And if I can show everybody this at one time, so if I can take some examples and show people what the audition looked like, and then I can coach you live and then have you do it again, you'll learn an awful lot, and other people will be able to learn by watching you. So as I said, this group right here, some of our biggest problems on this side are technical problems. So for instance, I don't know exactly how many people are tuned into this webinar. I think that we had about 50 people that we sent the invitation to, and I know not everybody was available today, and so I think that we have about 30 people, but I have no counter, so eventually that's a kink I'll get worked out, so I'll know how many people I'm talking to. But what I'd like to do is get some tapes in and permission from about 10 of you, some men and women and kids and adults, so that I've got a good cross section, and then I would like to broadcast the audition, and then I would like to have the actor there on hand as after I'm here. Hey, K and Q for life. I don't know who K and Q is, but I'm wondering if it's that cute couple, the guy and the woman. Okay, how do we send tapes? Some questions are going to be coming up here, and I won't be able to answer them all during this webinar. So my production crew here is going to copy some of them down, and then I will go back and answer that. I do believe that we've sent instructions to everyone on how to, that's the YouTube instructions, that's how you send your audition tapes. But if you don't know how to send your tapes, you may also not know where the assessment scripts are. So we're gonna, let's just say that, I don't know how I'm going to know exactly who is here, but maybe I'll just resend the instructions of how to do an audition and where to send it to everyone. I think that might be. And so this is an example when I tell you that we're not completely organized. This is an example of the stuff you're going to need to give me your patience on.
Yes.
Again, one thing that I will promise you is that this is going to be so worth it for you, because I have got so much information, and you don't know me yet, but I will give you my personal guarantee that I will be able to help you so much. You've never seen anything like it. I am really good at this particular thing. So stick with me. Help me make getting to you and talking to you easy enough, even if you need to give me your patience and we fail at times with some of our technology, because when I can get to you, I will be able to get you a lot of good stuff. So I'm going to check my notes again, see what else I wanted to talk to them about.
It's been 20 minutes.
Okay, so we're about 20 minutes into this, and I'm going to want to make this, I'm going to try to cap it at about an hour, although, I could talk to you for 8 hours easily. Or 20 hours on teaching you, but we can only talk about so much today. So,
You got a question.
okay, got a question.
Can my accent affect my audition?
Yes, your accent can affect your audition. However, I am going to advise you to go ahead anyway, and I'm going to give you some information and some reality, and also a great deal of hope. I'm trying to think of her name. Who's the beautiful, somebody give it to me out there. Who's the beautiful woman on Modern Family? Who is she? Absolutely gorgeous.
Colombian.
She's Colombiana, and she has got the thickest accent ever. She is the highest paid woman on TV, and her accent is very profound. Don't worry about your Sophia something. Thank you, Sophia Vergara. Thanks, Grace. Thanks, Kim. You two are coming through for me. Okay, so Sophia Vergara makes more money than any other woman on television, and she has the thickest accent that I know of on TV anyway. So don't let that stop you. Don't let anything stop you, all right? If you think you're too young, too old, too thick, too thin, your hair's not right, your face isn't right, you don't like your nose, there is somebody who is very successful in Hollywood who's got it worse than you. So don't let anything stop you. Believe me, if you were here, I could give you an example of somebody. Thank you. Is that Ridney? Hi. Don't let anything stand in your way. You let your light shine, and I will help you make it better. Okay? It seems that some of you are confused. You're asking questions about where scripts are. You're asking questions about how to send auditions in. You're asking questions about how to audition. And a number of you told us today that you didn't know about the webinar, although we've been sending emails out. So either you're not reading all the emails, so you really need to make sure that we're in your address book. so that you can get all the emails, and you really need to be sure to read them because we are sending out all the info. And another thing you could do is just search the name Talent Services in your email and reread all of them and read them carefully, because we all read emails quickly sometimes and we may miss some information or didn't really quite catch what it was talking about. So I want you to go back and reread all of that. And I think that you'll find out how to do everything you need to do. Hello, Marilyn. I see you there. By the way, I just want to say, I have been dreaming about doing this online for at least 8 years, maybe longer. And you are the very first time that I've reached out to people online, and I want you to know that I'm excited. And I want you to know that I need to work out the kinks for what I'm trying to do. And what I'm trying to do, or what I want to set up my business to do, is I want to be able to find talent that's outside New York and Los Angeles, and that's not that easy. Hey, Helena. Exciting, good. I'm glad you guys are excited. I'm excited too. And I love my work. I do this thing exactly every day in Hollywood, but I've really been wanting to take it online. And I just can't emphasize enough to you guys to please reach out and stay with me now, because I have the time and I'm very motivated to help you, because I need to work out how I'm going to do this online. So I need that patience, and I need those test subjects, which is what you will be. Now, one of the things that happened was when you signed up for the webinar, you got a tape. It was like a tape of slides or a video, or I don't know exactly how it comes up for you, but when you signed up for the webinar, thanks, Marilyn, I'm glad that you're excited. When you signed up for the webinar, then you got a reply that said you're signed up, congratulations, and then there was a group of slides, and I did a voiceover giving you some information that would be helpful to you. Yes, you got the intro video. It was about 29 minutes. Thank you. It's an intro video. Thank you. That's the kind of help I need, because I don't know exactly how it appeared to you. But I gave you some info. And if you didn't listen to that, you'll want to go back and listen to that, because I gave a lot of cool info that I think will really help you guys as new talent, because there's certain things that all new talent need to know. At the end of that, I offered you 2 classes that I normally offer only to the people in my office, and one of them is called Killer Profile. I offer that for $400. I also offered you Killer Reel. Now, a reel is when you do several assessment scripts. So imagine this, that you made a video of yourself doing one commercial, one comedy piece, and one drama piece. And so you just started to send it to people who do casting, so that even if they hadn't reached out to you to audition for something, they can see you and see what you're capable of. Hey Patty, I'm glad you're here. You missed some, so I can't really say how much, but hang in there, and we're glad that you made it.
Apparently there was a group that went somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Okay, so apparently there was a group that went somewhere else. How there is anywhere else to go, I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing about this. So part of the people that were supposed to go to the webinar are showing up somewhere else. And this is a perfect example, again, of the kind of technical wonkiness you're going to see with us here. But again, oh, hey, Stark, you were part of that group? Okay. Oh, that's Star K. Hello. Thank you. I clicked on a prior link, the one given in the email prior to the latest. Huh, did we have a wrong link? Or does that, maybe YouTube makes a new one each time, or that app we were using?
Something went wrong along the way.
Hey, Star. Hello. Hello. Okay, so, but bottom line, what I want to keep saying again and again, so if some of you are just tuning in and you haven't seen it yet, you haven't seen this yet, we are going to have some technical difficulties, because everybody on this project has at least 10 to 20 years on the job in the industry in Hollywood. So we can definitely handle every part of this. What we haven't done before is to do casting and production with people online. So you're going to see wonky stuff like this. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to make it up for you, and I promise to make it up for you 1,000 times, 1,000%, because I will give you so much free stuff. that you cannot get anywhere else here. I am telling you that my office is booked out sometimes 6 weeks in advance, and I just can't take new clients. I know how to do this very, very well. And so anyway, I kind of got sidetracked. I was talking about that in those slides, I gave you some info, so go back. If you didn't watch the slides, then watch the slides. And the slides are as somebody told me, it's called the intro video. And in that intro video, you're gonna see a bunch of information that will just give you an idea of some perspectives and some behaviors that you should do when you're launching yourself as entry-level talent. So I want you all to get that, because that's a bunch of good free information there. At the end of that, I offered you 2 of the courses that I do in my office. So one of them is called Killer Profile and the other is called Killer Reel. And in a reel, in an actor's reel, what you do is you tape yourself doing several scripts so that people can just get an idea of the level of your talent. So one of the things that I coach my new talent on is how to make a great reel. So I made these 2 classes for them, and I give it to them for $400 each. One is Killer Profile and one is Killer Reel. I offered it to you guys for, I think, $149 for each of those classes, but then I cut it down if you would take both. And so I'm offering you Killer Reel and Killer Profile for $79, but with that I'm giving you another bonus offer too, which is 1 month of free coaching. Now, I could coach you guys for free for a month because it's totally worth it to me, and I really want to do this. I want the experience. But I'm not willing to do it for free for this reason, because I have seen in my life that what people get for free, they don't really value. And though it would cost a lot more in my office, just a month in my office would be, well, it would get into 5 figures, and few people can afford it. But when will I be able to access this deal? When will, okay, yeah, we're gonna show you how to do that. So bear with me. Keep up your questions. Let me ask my producer something. Are we going to be able to look at the end of this and see all the questions? Are they all listed
Yes.
somewhere? Okay, so we will, if I can't really stop and address all the questions that you're asking, but if you have key questions, ask them, and we will, maybe we'll make an FAQ or something and send it out to the list so that you will get answers if I haven't answered within this hour. So can I get a time check? How long?
29 minutes.
Okay, I'm at 29 minutes, so we're about halfway through. Anyway, so that's the offer, and I'll talk to you about it later, and we'll also show you where you can access it. But if you will buy this before midnight tonight, it's like $80. Someone's trying to get my attention, but I just want to finish this first. That you will get a course on how to make a killer profile, and this is a talent profile. So I'm going to tell you how to put a profile on a website, how to make the best sort of profile on a casting site to get more attention, and how to do your stuff for Facebook and Instagram, and that's in Killer Profile. And you'll also get Killer Reel, which is talking about how to make these video reels for yourself so that you can get people who cast to give you more auditions. That plus 1 month of free coaching for me, I'm offering for $79. So if you can do that, that's great. I'm going to take that group, and that's going to be my first group, and I am telling you that you're going to get in the 5 figures. I'd say probably 20,000 or more worth of my information and the kind of time if you were here in my office.
It expires
So
tonight.
what are you trying to, what were they trying to tell me off camera here?
Well, the offer expires tonight, so make sure that.
Yeah, okay, so that offer for $79, it's basically $80, is gonna expire tonight at midnight Pacific time. So we're in Los Angeles, I work in Hollywood, and all of our time is Pacific time, and we try to give you, we try to translate that because we're working with people all across the country into your own time zone, but please translate those times. At midnight tonight, I'm gonna close the offer, and I'm gonna close that group. It's probably going to be a rather small group, and that's going to be great. I don't get paid till Friday. Is that okay? Kim, I'm going to have my producer deal with Kim, and we'll have somebody speak to you. Yeah, I'm glad you think that.
Anyone that doesn't receive the link, we'll send it to them.
Okay, so anyone who didn't receive that link, we're going to send it to you. Do I need to have social media? Well, it depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to launch yourself as talent, it will be helpful. You could skip the social media if you did just casting sites and did your own website, but you need some place that people can tune in and see you, and you need more than one place. For instance, if you're on a casting site, and there's some great casting sites out there, and that's the only place people can see you, then people who don't use that casting site might not see you. So you're gonna need some place where you're looking absolutely great and showing your talent, and you're going to need some way to get that in front of people who are doing casting. And so that's the kind of stuff I'm going to talk to you about in the 1 month of free membership, that kind of coaching. It isn't that I wouldn't tell you now, but there are just so many things to tell you. I can only get so much out in this hour. And what I really want to make sure is that you get info about how to do these online auditions. So for you who weren't here earlier, I'm just going to quickly go over again. One of the two most important things that you need to remember are to practice and have it completely memorized before you do your tape, because if you need to think about the words, if you're stopping and halting and trying to remember what the words are because you don't have them memorized, you will not be able to give a great performance. And you need to do what's called pre-production, which means that before you tape yourself, you need to do a mock taping where you test your lighting, where you test your set, so you see what's going to be behind yourself when where you test your sound, so that you tape yourself in the same situation. And you need to really try to think of as many things that could go wrong as you can, although in my experience something else always goes wrong later anyway. But you need to remember that if you tested your lighting and you're using natural lighting from a window and it looked perfect at 10 a.m., but you try to do it at 3 p.m. tomorrow, that lighting may look completely different. You need to remember that wherever you have your lighting, your background needs to be looking good enough that it doesn't distract or put something in the tape that just really isn't appropriate. And you need to make sure that your sound really works, because sometimes you can do an incredible performance and the sound doesn't work and you missed it. So that's what you need to know. At the end of this, you'll get the link to get in on the 1 free month of coaching from me, and I'm really looking forward to coaching you guys. So you're going to get for that $80 the killer profile and the killer reel. And what I'm going to do is the first 2 weeks of that coaching, I'm going to go through the class of the killer profile so that you can learn all about how to promote yourself and make yourself look right. And for the person that said, do I have to have social media? By the way, I don't have any social media. I don't have any social media as the person who I am. I have professional social media, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about no personal information. I'm talking about not letting people know how to get to you and find you so the stalkers can start. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of questions on the screen about when people have to pay for it because they're not getting their paychecks. So we'll work something out, because I do want you in, but everybody is going to need to at least pay something, because I have learned that is the way that people show up and they value. So so we'll work that out. We'll make sure that you get in there somehow. And we're going to send you some links to the intro video that I talked to you about. So what I need from you is to stay flexible and to give me honest feedback, to tell me when things are wrong. What colors are best to wear when filming yourself? The best thing to do when you're filming yourself is to have things that don't distract. Okay, so for instance, this plain black is just something that kind of blends. People don't really notice what you're wearing. You just want to make sure that there's nothing that distracts from the performance that you're giving. People are thanking me, and I really thank you too. I'm so excited to do this. I can't wait to start working with you. And I can't wait for you to see what I'm doing. So maybe you can just imagine this, that you're going to send me some audition tapes, and I'm also going to find, and I haven't found this technology yet, and pardon me because it's probably something really simple, but I just don't know about this sort of thing. What I want to be able to do might be Google Hangouts, where I'm going to be able to look at your audition tape, and I'm going to be able to show it to the class, and then I'm going to have you standing right there, and I'm going to say, okay, so what I see you doing is this and this, and I want you to change it and do this and this instead. Now do it again. And when the person does it again, everyone will get to see the impact of those little tweaks, and then you'll be able to do that for yourself. So I'll keep doing that with different people. And you'll get a chance to have, someone asked me if this is one-on-one coaching. It's group coaching, but let me tell you, group coaching is really effective because you get to see what other people are learning as well, and usually you can get a lot out of that. At that price, I can't, I still have my other business that I have to do, and for $79 a month, I can't give people one-on-one coaching, but I will give you like a coaching class once a week, and we'll go through a bunch of different things, and you'll get a chance to show your auditions, and you'll get a chance to get coached. So I promise you'll get a ton out of this. Yeah, you'll like it. So they're motioning to me from off camera. What's up?
Helena recommended Zoom for this
Helena,
interaction.
you recommended Zoom, so I'm gonna check that out. I know there's a bunch of stuff out there and people probably know how to do it easily and I don't, but I'm going to find out. So we are at 37 minutes, okay? So we've got about 23 minutes left, and maybe I would start to take some questions. So let me ask you this. I'm going to first guess. I'm going to give you one last thing before we go into your questions. And my guess is going to be that the reason that they didn't get more audition tapes is that you just didn't feel prepared. Either you couldn't seem to do it and you knew that you weren't ready to do it, or you did it and you didn't like the way that it looked, so you didn't send it in. Can I start to hear from people about why you didn't send in audition tapes if you did not? Because there might be problems that I haven't thought of. I kind of know what the problems would be in my office, but maybe when we're doing stuff by remote, there are issues that we didn't think of. Like, could we have missed some tapes that they sent in? Just like they ended up in the wrong place today. I tell you something, if you address that, the address is very specific, and so I sent mine, but it was my first name doing it.
We saw that one.
Okay, I'm hearing that we did see that one. And so,
K&Q.
I don't know, is that the man and the woman?
I believe so. I believe that's them.
So K&Q, was that the man and the woman?
That they did multiple auditions.
And you did multiple auditions? Is that K&Q? And they go star K? Kimmy, well, I'm new, so I can send mine in. So Kim, if you're new, did you just get this link from a friend, or did you just didn't notice our emails, or you weren't inspired and now you are, or you were busy, or what was going on with Kim? Hey Felicia, nice to see you. You're late, you've missed a lot, but I'm glad you're here.
So we got a question
Okay.
from K&Q for Life. What colors are best to wear when you're filming yourself?
Okay, so back to what colors are best to wear. It's not really, it's not necessarily the color. It's that you want your clothes to be congruent with whatever you're trying to convey. For instance, if it's the scene's at a party, you're going to want to maybe look like you're ready for a party. So it's a little easier for people to imagine that you are doing that role. It's not completely necessary to dress for the role or to do your hair and makeup that way, but it can be helpful. But one thing that you want is that whatever you're wearing doesn't distract, okay? So that there aren't wardrobe malfunctions, that your things aren't see-through, or that they aren't uncomfortable so that you can't move the way that you're going to want to move. There's not a one-size-fits-all for what you should wear, but it should basically not get more attention than you do.
So,
okay. Next question.
Starkey said that the emails don't always seem to go through. When I search through my email, I find a bunch of emails I never got to see. That's why we tell them to.
Okay, so Star K says the emails don't always seem to get through. When I search through my emails, I see a bunch of emails that didn't get through. So what do you mean? It didn't go to your inbox? Is it going to promotions or to spam? Or what do you mean it didn't get through?
And that's why we had some of them add the Gmail filter. So when we tell them to do something, we need them to do that thing. Some people didn't.
Okay, so they sent you something teaching you how to do a thing called a Gmail filter. Now, that's very important. You need to do the Gmail filter. I'm glad they didn't ask me because I have no idea what a Gmail filter is. And this is a perfect example of the tech gap, especially on my side. So Star K says that's all over the place. Very rarely it'll go straight to the inbox. So Star, if it's not going straight to the inbox, where is it going?
Promotions tab?
Does it go to promotions or where does it get? What is the best way to project your voice and not get nerves about your idea? No, okay, cool. I'll get to that. Noelle, I'm gonna get to your question in a second, Felicia. Noelle. Okay, so what's the best thing for them to do if they think they're not getting all your emails? What should they do now?
Add us as a contact.
Okay, what you need to do is add us as a contact, the
Yahoo.com.
yahoo.com. Add that to your contacts.
And we're working on some solutions for that. So
And we're working on some solutions. So again, the most important thing in all of this is just to stick with us, because you're getting more attention than you can imagine right now from a lot of people who can really help you. So you're in a great position, but we are going to need your patience and your feedback. Thank you, K and Q, for saying that you think I'm doing a wonderful job. That's what I'm saying. Stick with me, because I have got a ton of information that you guys need, but I'm just going to need to be able to have the time to get it out for you. So if you guys can do the 1 month of free coaching with that $79 offer, that's going to be really helpful, because I have so much info to give you, but I am going to need some time to do that. I'm going to need you to be able to show up. So, next question.
Kim mentioned that she gets nervous and she wants to overcome that.
Okay.
Is preparing the best thing to do?
Okay, so Kim asked, she said that she gets nervous, and what's the best thing to do about that? So there are several different ways to handle your nerves. And the first thing that I'll tell you is that people, that's another thing that people underestimate. They really believe that they will not be nervous, and they do end up very nervous. For instance, one of the people who sent in an audition tape said that the audition tape didn't look that great, but they could do better in person. Let me tell you, in my experience, when you're suddenly dealing with strangers staring at you from behind a desk, you won't do better in person. You'll do worse in person. But let me tell you that that is nothing to compare to when you get the job and you're on the set. Because what happens is that on the set, you have stagehands. So let's say you maybe have 35 people who are working on the lights and the sound and the electricity, and they're running around with their tool belt, and it's, like, Grand Central Station there, and it's very noisy. But all of a sudden, it's time to tape your piece. And so a director's assistant is going to raise an electric megaphone, and they're going to say, shh, quiet on the set. Now, that is a Hollywood law. The second that they say that, everybody is going to go absolutely silent. They're going to stop in their position because they can't move, because they can't make any noise. And so the only thing they can do is all turn and look at you. And all of a sudden, you've ever been in a baseball or a football stadium, and those lights, how that much light is going in your eyes, and a huge camera goes right up at you. Everybody's staring at you. So if you think that you can do better anytime, but when you're at home alone taping this, I'm going to guess that's probably not true. Okay, and I'll give you, I bet a lot. I'll bet everything that that's not true. So the first thing to know about nerves is that everyone is nervous. Chris Rock throws up backstage before he does the Academy Awards. So it's not really a matter of not being nervous. It's a matter of knowing how to give your performance anyway. Now, does it get better with time? It did for me. I gotta tell you, I was actually dancing getting ready for this, because I said it is so great to be doing a production that I am not nervous at all about, because I just have this info down cold. I've been doing this for so long that it's just fun. And it's great to get that point. But Will Smith, by the way, everybody go and Google Will Smith after this on YouTube and look at him, Will Smith, skill and perseverance. Because he talks about the difference between talent and skill. And he says that his perseverance got him through. He does not consider himself very naturally talented. He said it's because of the hard work he was willing to put into this. And he just has some great info on that. So I want you to take a look at that. You will be nervous. And I can tell you to relax, but you come into the room with a 5-year-old who's afraid in the middle of the night, and you tell them, just don't be scared, everything's okay. But that doesn't help them at all, right? It's only the skill and the practice that's going to help you with that. So first, again, memorize, memorize, memorize. Those are the 3 most important things. Remember the 3 most important things. Memorize, memorize, memorize. Okay? The next important thing is to rehearse. So once you've got it memorized, completely memorized, then you can start to actually concentrate on giving the performance that you can do. I want you to concentrate on your performance, and the great thing about taping yourself at home is that you can erase it and retape until you get it exactly right. But again, what happens with most newbies is that they underestimate how many times it should take. So maybe they do this 2 or 3 times and I think, I can't do it. But they don't realize that one take in a movie can be 29 to 120 shots. You girls know, how many times do you take those pictures for Instagram, right? The guys think you get it in one shot, right? Meanwhile, you've done it 45 times and then picked your best one, or 45 times, then changed your hair and makeup and your lighting, and then done it again. That's what you got to do for this. You have to, it really takes something, okay? People don't get stars. It's not like winning the lottery, you know? It's not like being a baby kitten where the mommy kitten picks you up by the back of the neck and just drops you in famous. It really is going to take something. So you have to know that you want to do this. This isn't for everyone. Next question.
Okay, so someone is asking about when is the next deal for the liquidator offer.
When is the next deal? I don't know. I made some classes. I have a bunch of classes and things that I do for my people in my office, but I'm not prepared to be online. So I'm trying to work that out. And that's one of the reasons I want to do this offer, so that by working with you guys for a month, I can kind of work out how to do it well. And that's why I'm saying you're going to get a lot, because now I have to do my practice over and over and over, right? And the only way for me to practice, I don't have to practice my info because I've got that info, but I need to practice how to give it to you guys. So I'm going to work with you again and again and again, more than I will with most people, because I need to figure out how to do another offer. Ultimately, I do know that I want to have a monthly membership where people are getting coached. And I have a number of classes, and so there are short classes and long classes on all different subjects, and I'll eventually get that out, but I don't have it all set up now. I just don't. Do we have another question?
Yes, Helene is asking that someone sent her a link to the liquidator offer, so we'll take care of that.
She's asking for a link?
Yeah.
Okay, Helena asked for a link to the offer where you can get those 2 classes plus a month of my coaching for $79. So can we just send that to everyone?
Yes.
Because otherwise, how are we going to know who? Because, yeah. So we're going to resend that link. So if you guys are wanting to get in on that before midnight tonight, then look in your email and be sure to add us as a contact. That's talent.services@yahoo. Add us to your contacts so that you're sure that you're getting our emails. We're going to send that link out so that you can sign up for this offer. A couple of you said you didn't get paid until such and such date. I'm not always going to be able to honor that, but I'm going to do my best to do it this time, because again, I am going to bend over backward to help you guys.
And they need to make sure to watch the video that comes with the offer, because the video is already.
The offer has a video with it. Okay, so so there's the video, right? And on the screen above it is a click button to get this offer now or something on it. So you can click there, but also watch that video, because I made that video with a bunch of cool information for you guys. So take advantage of that. Listen to the video. You may want to take some notes from that. You'll see some cool stuff there.
Pat is saying it has been her dream for a very long time, and she's 62. So can you address the challenges for older actresses?
Thank you. Thank you. Patty asked that she says she's been her dream for a long time, and that she's 62. And so can I address that? Okay. So I kind of glossed over this. Excuse me. But people have a lot of concerns. They think that everybody needs to be young and thin, and some people think it only works for certain races. Some people think that they're too old, or they're too large, or they're too small, or all of these things. But let me tell you, Can I tell you one of the coolest people? Actually, I bought some chairs from her that are in my living room, and she's the woman. What is her name? Elaine something, I think. And she played Seinfeld's mother. She started acting when I think she was 62 or 63. She eventually made over $100 million playing that role as Seinfeld's mother. There are a bunch of people. You know, everybody wants to be tall and have great hair, but don't tell that to Danny DeVito, right? Because he's one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. He's a big-time A-lister. He's not very tall. He's never had hair in the time that he's been acting that I've ever seen him. And sorry, Danny, but you might not be, you know, the most classically handsome man, but great guy though. So believe me, there is a part for everyone. You know, if you're not the mother or father or the child or the grandfather or the CEO or the president of the country, we need all sorts of different people, right? So don't believe it. Don't believe the hype. There's someone who, look at the guy who did Gangnam Style. Look at him. He made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. He didn't even ever do anything that was large. He had been in music forever. He did that at something like late 40s.
We need a nerd like Napoleon Dynamite, or
yeah, we need nerds like Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, Jonah Hill. These are not classic, you know, what people think is classic red carpet, but really take a look at who's out there. Got all sorts of people doing all sorts of things and doing very well. There's no reason that you can't do this. Don't believe that.
Helene asked a very good questions. A very good question.
Here comes a very good question they're asking me.
What often holds me back from auditions is the idea of perfection and not being good enough. Right. Do you have any words of wisdom for that?
Okay. So,
Nike's example.
Like what?
Nike's motto.
Okay.
Just do it.
Okay. So, what was the name of the person that asked this question?
That's Helena.
Helena. Okay, so Helena asked, she said that she kind of gets stuck in needing to make it perfect. Okay, so just do it. Just do it. A few things, and how many of you saw A Star is Born? A Star is Born is sweeping the box office right now. It's probably also going to sweep the Academy Awards, and one of the people who stars in this is Lady Gaga, right? And she appears for the first time with no makeup. Bradley Cooper made her, can you imagine, women? I would be so upset if somebody told me to get on camera with no makeup, but she is so fresh and so compelling, so believable, and she's probably going to get Best Actress unless somebody does something amazing this year. But what Bradley tried to get from her was her imperfection, and what she admitted in that is that all of that hair and makeup and the wild costumes that she does is to cover up for her feeling that she has never thought that she was a particularly glamorous woman. So what you think perfection is may not even be your perfection. You must get something out. And in this case, when I'm going to coach you guys, you should let me see, you know, do it as well as you can, and then let me see what the problems are, because I can coach you through the problems. You've got a much better chance of me coaching you through the problems than you figuring out what they are by yourself at home. Okay, so we're at 54 minutes, so we've got about 6 minutes left, and I'm going to take a couple more questions if we have them. Do we have more questions?
Yeah, so Starkey said, I'm passionate about acting, but to be a singer is my goal. Is this a good route to choose when wanting to go in that direction of media? First of all, what we help...
Are you going to answer the question?
No.
Okay, so I've got a person who is who's saying that what she really wants to do is to sing. And is this a good route to go? So is the question asking whether my coaching is good for that, or?
Whether acting is a good route to become also a singer.
Okay, so is acting a good route to become also a singer? Well, it depends on what level that you are, okay? So if you've just put out your first album and it's a smash hit and you're getting ready to do a second album, then you wouldn't necessarily want to stop and do a movie right then. However, if you're unknown, then you should do almost anything you can to get notoriety and followers so that people will see and hear your stuff. So if you've got your stuff ready, then you need to do anything and everything, such as what I'm going to talk to you about in your profiles and in your audition tapes, and where to find people to send audition tapes to. So at first, what you're looking for is to be noticed so that people will listen to your stuff. Next question.
Kim is saying I've dealt with the scammers and I want to say thank you for being real and helping us. You're a true angel.
Oh. So somebody said they've dealt with scammers, and thanks for being real and helping you. I am so happy to help you, and I've worked with new talent for a long time, and I know that there are a number of scammers, and I can tell you a lot about their ways and some things about how to avoid them. But again, I just don't have time to say everything, today, because there's only so much time. But I will give you my very best, and I have been doing this for a long time, and I know new talent really has a challenge, because scammers know how to look very real sometimes. Do we have any more questions?
Kim asked, I have a profile with Explore Talent. Is that okay?
Someone asked about a particular casting company. It's better to be online with a casting company than not to be. Most of them are pretty good. Now, I say most of them are pretty good because I know the ones that I know. Are there thousands of little casting companies that really can't get you much? I don't know. I don't really know of the small companies. I know of the bigger companies. And I don't want to say their names here, but somebody used something that I'll give the initials was ET, and ET is great. ET is great when you're brand new, because that's where people go. Some people go. I have been there many times to find new talent, because if you don't have a very high budget, then you're looking. You can't necessarily get Lady Gaga to be in your film, right? So when you're brand new, you're going to want to look for people who are willing to work with new people.
So that's Q&A for life are asking.
Okay. Will we be scripted or what? I couldn't read it.
They said curious. We are about to cast.
I don't know that.
We are about to cast. Will we be scripted or are we to be our natural selves on camera for a reality show?
Okay. So somebody asked if for the production that we're talking about, will they be scripted or are they just going to be themselves for a reality show? We're not doing a reality show. So everything that we're doing right now is going to be scripted. I am going to do some online training, and that's not a reality show, but it's going to be kind of some reality for you guys. I may tape some of it and I may use it to teach other people, but we're not doing a reality show. So the show that we're casting at this point, and we're going to do a number of castings, but the first thing that we're casting is an episodic webcast. So it's a web series. And there is definitely going to be a script. Now, occasionally, if you do background work or something, there may be no script, but it's not a reality format at all. We're not doing anything that's reality at this point.
Kim is asking if you know if Backstage or ET is better, or what do you think?
It's difficult for me in this format to compare the different casting companies. But I will tell you that different things are better for different reasons. So I'm going to guess that most people on this are unknown talent, that you're brand new. If you can afford it, and I don't really know what these things cost, it would be good to be on several, if not most, of all the big name casting sites. But I don't really know what that costs or how much that would run you. So it's, there's always a balance of cost to value, and depending how close you are to a place where things are going to be happening. So if you live a long way from New York or LA and you're with a casting company that's casting most things that happen in New York and LA, and most productions do happen in New York or LA, right? Some things happen in Miami, some things happen in Chicago, a lot's happening in Atlanta right now. But if you really aren't near a big epicenter, then you either need to be with somebody, this is, by the way, people not being near an epicenter is exactly why I want to do this online coaching, and Talent Services wants to do this webcast show that's going to include people, because I really have been thinking that obviously there's a lot of talent out there in this country outside New York and Los Angeles, but we don't generally get to see them, and you guys aren't all going to move here, so some people do move here, and those are the people I tend to see, but I want to find the people that nobody else is seeing. So that's kind of the outreach that we're doing now. Okay, we're at time. We're at an hour. So the things that I want to leave you with are that we're going to send out a link for those, the 2 courses and the month of free coaching with me. And I'd love it if you could all do that. And if you've got a specific concern, like somebody said that they wouldn't be able to do it till Tuesday, and I really do want to close this off at midnight tonight, but if you have a specific concern and you want to do it a different day, then what should they do? Can they email you?
Yeah, they can.
So email Talent Services if you want an exception to that, but you really do intend to take that offer. And again, I just love to see you all there, and I will be giving you my very best, and I got a lot of stuff to give you. So for now, see you in Hollywood, and thanks for coming today, really. Thank you so very much. You'll be, put Talent Services, talent.services at Yahoo. Put them in your contacts in your email servers so everything gets to your inbox. Thank you. Thank you all for saying thank you. Someone said that they were abroad, but even if you're abroad, then do check your email if that's at all possible. And love to stay in contact. Thank you.